These two university students left their lodge and went out on what seems like an ordinary daily routine, but they never returned. Time was ticking. Days passed, then weeks. What started as a missing persons report will soon unravel a horrifying story of betrayal, abduction, and cold-blooded murder initiated by someone they trusted the most. Imagine sending your child to school and will never hear from him or her again. This was the painful reality of two Nigerian families in June 2025. This is the chilling story of John and Andre, and how their ordinary daily routine turned into a nightmare no one could have ever imagined. On June 20th, 2025, the academic environment at Adekunle Ajase University in Akungbakoko, Ondo State was as busy as ever. Students were rushing to lectures, hanging out with friends, and living their usual campus life. But two students, a 25-year-old John Friday Abba in economic department and a 19-year-old Andre Elohi Oka studying history and international studies, were nowhere to be found. At first, no one panicked. After all, students sometimes skip classes or travel without notice. But when hours turned to days and calls to their phone went unanswered, fear began to grow. John and Andre weren't the kind to vanish without telling anyone. They were active in class, sociable, and connected. Their friends started checking hospitals, hostels, even police stations, but there was no trace of them. By the seventh day, their disappearance had become impossible to ignore. Families were contacted. Friends started sharing their photos across social media, begging anyone with information to speak up. John's elder brother couldn't take the silence any longer. 4 days after they went missing, he submitted a formal petition through a lawyer to the police, demanding an investigation. But behind the scene, the truth was already unraveling, and the horror began long before the petition. Unknown to the family, just 2 days after the two students vanished, villagers found one lifeless body of a young, beautiful woman by a roadside. It was Andre. Her remains were taken to a local mortuary. The police were informed, but without identification. Her body sat there, unclaimed, while her name continued trending on social media as a missing person. The anti-kidnapping unit got involved. They began tracking the victims' digital footprints, bank records, phone signals, and many more. The research led them to Lagos, specifically to Computer Village in Ikeja, Lagos, a hub for electronics. There, police discovered one of the victims' missing phone, an iPhone 14 Pro Max, in the hands of a 38-year-old man called Abdul Mohammed Mubarak. At first, Mohammed claimed he had simply bought the phone innocently, but under interrogation, he broke down and gave police one name, Ojo Michael, the man he bought the phone from. Police tracked down Ojo Michael in another state. Alongside him, they recovered a Lexus RX 350 that belonged to the missing student. This was no longer a case of stolen property, and when Michael finally spoke, the truth chilled everyone to their bone. He confessed that he wasn't acting alone, in fact that he was just a tool in the hands of man who initiated everything from the very start. By name Oladele Femi, John's own landlord. Yes, this same man who rented a home to John was the one who planned his murder. Femi knew John's routine very well, his movement, his bank details, and most importantly, he knew when to strike. He hired Ojo Michael and another accomplice by name Kola. Their original plan was to kidnap the students, force them to transfer money, then possibly release them after demanding more ransom from their family. According to the confession, while in captivity, John was forced to transfer 800,000 from his account, but then things went completely dark. During their captivity, Andre was sexually assaulted. It was after that violation that everything took into different turn. She had managed to identify Michael, recognizing him clearly, and that's when they made the deadly decision to silence her permanently. They ended her life, and then, to erase the evidence, they had to murder John as well. The two young promising life had just gone, all because of greedy and quest for money. They dumped Adrian's body by the roadside, where she was later found, but John's fate was even worse. His body was said to have been dumped in a river, and as of the time this report was filed, his remains were still missing. With both Michael and Femi in custody, the pieces of the puzzle came together. The betrayal ran deep, especially knowing that a landlord, someone who's supposed to provide safety, was the architect of such a wicked act. Andre's body was finally identified and transferred to General Hospital mortuary, where she would be laid to rest in her hometown. As for John's family, their pain lingers. No body, no grave, just memory and unanswered questions. The legal process has now begun. The family are demanding full justice for their children, whose only crime was trusting the wrong person. Two students, two beautiful futures stolen by greed. What hurts the most is that it wasn't a random attack. It wasn't strangers. It was someone close, someone they should have been able to trust. May justice be served, and may John and Andre's soul rest in peace. If this video touched you, please like this video, leave a comment for John and Andre's family, and subscribe to this channel as I share true life stories and true crime happening in Nigeria and beyond.